Musta mga kapatid? Musta tayong lahat? Ngayon is Wednesday na ngayon, no? October 22. So, kumusta kayo? Ang mga kapatid ko, kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah is Malaysia, and very specific dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. Nandito na naman si Nick Tok, pero this, I am going to give you kung ano-ano mga latest developments natin o mga usapan or issues tungkol sa Pilipinas po na I'm sure you really want to know what is happening o ang mga updates regarding ang mga happenings dyan po sa Pilipinas. But before going any further, of course, I would like to invite na naman ang mga overseas Filipinos natin dito sa Malaysia. Overseas Filipino workers natin dyan po sa mga iba-ibang parte ng mundo, sa ibang nasyon. Kumusta ang mga kababayan, mga Filipinos, kapatid, no? Mga kapatid natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, okay ba kayo? Sana okay na okay. And you're not affected by ito, mga natural calamities or disasters sa Pilipinas. Kung sakali man na you are affected, rest assured that you are included in my daily prayers, no? In my daily prayers. And sana lang po sa Pilipinas, ang gobyerno natin, no? Everybody, be it in the government, mga politicians natin, ang mga government officials natin sa mga diferente agencies and departments, ang business sector po, sana lang po will be united and will be able to find the best long-term solution po on how to solve itong problema natin, particularly itong problema ng graft and corruption. Dahil sa graft and corruption po, ganito ang buhay natin po ngayon. Ha? Buhay natin ngayon. May malaking diferensya between ang mayaman at saka ang mahirap dahil sa corruption, di ba? I think you agree with me. But anyway, sige lang, during the program, I am inviting you po to stick with me hanggang matapos itong programa po dahil we'll be touching on, maybe we will give some comments and opinions ko po regarding itong issue ng corruption dyan po sa Pilipinas, especially when I saw the interview dyan po sa programa ni Ted Filon and DJ Shasha this morning. They interviewed itong convener ng Tama Na. This is the organization who is organizing itong mga big demonstration or rallies dyan po sa Pilipinas. And one of the biggest demonstration that they just recently concluded or organized, yun na po last September 21. Malaki yun po, nationwide yun. And of course, mayroon na naman. They are now preparing for another big, the big one, another big demonstration that will come next month sa November 30 during the, when we will remember ang hero natin si Andres Bonifacio po. November 30 yan po. So, later on, I will show you itong video clips, a portion of lang po, no? Mga importanteng questions ng si DJ Shasha ask kay Professor David Michael San Juan, no? David Michael San Juan is the convener of Tama Na grupo yun po, no? Ang Tama Na team organizing, what I said, they are the ones who is organizing itong sabihin natin mga rallies, demonstration dyan po sa Pilipinas, voicing out ang anger, disappointment, discontentment of the Filipinos po, be it from yon po sa mga estudyante, mga kabataan, mga NGOs, religious groups, mga government officials po, ordinary Filipinos po, and the business sector. Sila yan po. They are the ones who is preparing, organizing itong mga demonstration po. Hopefully, with the demonstrations, ang boses ng masa will be delivered clearly sa gobyerno ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Because until now po, ang mga tao, mga Filipinos po, is not happy with what is happening now, ang investigasyon, or the things that the Marcos administration is doing to address the problem. Wala pa mga concrete, tangible solutions, no? That we Filipinos, we want to see po, no? Kung sincere ba ang gobyerno in solving this problem? Sincere ba ang gobyerno in bringing or making sure that those people involved in this anomalous transactions ng flood control project dyan po sa Pilipinas, no? And other infrastructure programs, sincere ba sila po to make sure that ang mga tao involved din po dito will be punished, justice will be served, transparency must be there, accountability mayroon. Sa ngayon po, for more than 1 month na po, no, since this issue broke out, no, ang Filipinos is not happy because we cannot see not even one person nakakulong na po o nakulong na po ang gobyerno. So, dahil dyan po, maraming tayong duda na. In fact, whether we like it or not po, it has been announced publicly, it's a public knowledge, that 90% of the total population of the Philippines po, 90%, remember, 97%, I stand corrected, it's 97% of the Filipinos, ang population ng Filipino is around something like 120, 130 million. 97% of them, of us, we believe that itong corruption is widely spread sa Pilipinas. And hindi lang po yan, we strongly believe na this is a mafia style of corruption po. Mafia style po, it means dami po involved. Ang set point dito po is that when we say dami involved po, the parties involved, as mentioned by the investigators who are doing this investigation now, yun po, mga legislators natin, mga politicians natin, names of senators, names of congressmen, have been mentioned po dito sa issue na ito. And not to mention, mga government officials natin po, employees and officials po, no? Sa diferente government agencies and departments, no? They are involved in this transaction, anomalous transaction. And of course, the private sector, ang mga contractors po, doing these infrastructure projects. Involved ba? Involved ba ang Malacanang o hindi? This is what the Filipino wants to know. Wants to know po. Okay? So later on, we'll be touching on this. But anyway, I just want to announce also po, no? For your information, so mga kapatid natin dito po sa Sabah who still yet to be informed na mayroon na pala nung bagong Prime Minister sa Japan. Japan po, may bagong Prime Minister and it is the first female Prime Minister sa Japan po. Ang bagong Prime Minister nila po is no other than si Prime Minister Sanei Takaichi. Sanei Takaichi, she was the one who replaced ang former Prime Minister si Shigeru Ishiba. Respeto tayo sa Japan po, no? Nag-replace na naman o bagong Prime Minister naman dyan po sa Japan, no? Because of the issue ng itong foreign migration po, no? Foreign immigrants, no? Foreign workers po. Si former Prime Minister Ishiba, he wanted to bring mga Africans and other nationalities para magtrabaho po dyan sa Japan. But ang mga Japanese people, they didn't like the idea. And because of that, they changed ang Prime Minister nila. And now we have si Sanei Takaichi. as the first female Prime Minister. If you remember, ito mga Prime Minister, mga leaders ng Japan, no? Every time, tainted ang pangalan nila, when it comes to trust, they normally step down. And some even committed suicide. Suicide, no? Dito sa Pilipinas po, I don't know what is happening po. Klarong-klaro ng ebidensya na involved, na corrupt yung tao, pero ayaw talaga magbaba. Ayaw talaga magbaba. You still want to cling hanggang saan na until maybe, darating ang oras na he or she will be forced to leave the palace, to leave Malacanang po. Disgracefully. Well, mga ibang prime minister sa ibang nasyon, gracefully, they step down. Tayo, wala na po, I don't know. Do we really value the word gracefully? I don't know po. Yan po ang sitwasyon. Anyway, the other thing I want to share with you po ang latest information that I received from Manila. Yan po, ang sabi ni Senate President Tito Sen, Tito Sen, Vicente Soto, ang Senate President natin po, nag-announce siya yesterday and he managed to talk to Senator Ping Lacson po, and he managed to convince Senator Ping Lacson to return back to the Blue Ribbon Committee as chairman of the committee, no? Chairman of the committee, because he stepped down the other day. So he was saying the other day, once I say no, it's no. No? Pero ngayon, siguro, looking at the situation, si Tito Sen or Senate President Tito Sen managed to convince si Ping Lacson or Senator Ping Lacson to be the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee again. Kasi nakita natin po, walang tao, walang senador gusto sa minority group, block. Parang hesitant sila to take that chair, to be the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. So sa bandang uli, by November 10, mag-resume ang Senado po. November 10 ba yun? Baka we are going to see already. Pero confirm na, sabi ni Senate President Tito Soto. Confirm na po, he's going back. It's just a matter of making the official announcement pag-resume ang Senado next month. Next month po. Kasi they are on recess now. No? On recess now. So confirm na yun po. So para sa akin, okay, no problem. No problem po if Ping Lacson, Senator Ping Lacson is going back. Pero sana lang for my own, this is my own opinion, gusto ko sana po makita po, no? Ang deputy chairman niya, ang dating chairman din ng Ribbon Committee. I'm referring to Senator Rodante Marcoleta. Why? Because, okay, Senator Ping Lacson is a PNP chief before. Police po. He's good in investigation. Now, if you put Lacson and Marcoleta together, working in one team, no? Senator Marcoleta is good in, pagsabi natin, technicalities, legalities po. He's a good lawyer. He's an experienced also politician. So with their skills, their capability po, I think, kung walang lang mga selfish motives, I think we will be able to see good results sa investigation. When I say good results po, in other words, we will be able to see kung sino talaga, at the end of the day, kung sino talaga ang mastermind dito po sa flash control anomalous projects po, amounting to not only billions of pesos, but trillions of taxpayers' money. And dahil dyan po, nawala na ang trust ng karamihang Pilipino po sa gobyerno. Sa gobyerno po. And sabi nga ang gobyerno, ang Malacanang, si President Bongbong Marcos, don't worry, okay matakot kasi may sistema tayo and the system is working. But many Filipinos do not believe that, na may sistema tayo at ang sistema ng gobyerno is working. Trust rating po ng public sa gobyerno po, drop na drop. Yun pa ang importante po, ang gobyerno ni President Bongbong Marcos should really do something so that public trust, they will be able to get it back. For as long as there is no public trust po, I doubt how our Marcos administration can solve this problem ngayon po sa Pilipinas. Kayo po, what do you think? Kayo po, what do you think? But that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Okay? So, yun po, these are the initial things that I want to pass sa inyong lahat. And now, let's go to itong interview kay Ted Filon, ang programa ni Ted Filon kay Professor David Michael San Juan. He is the, as what I said, he is the convener of Tama Na group. They are the ones who's doing this, organizing this mga demonstration po dyan sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas. Fight against corruption. So, first thing first, I will share with you itong first motion, or a question raised by DJ Shasha kay Professor David po. Professor David. And then, I think I have 1 or 2 or 3 video clips dito po. Every segment, every video clip po, we will try to, sabihin natin, give some comments. I will give some comments po. So, nandito. Sandali, ha? Alright. Okay. The first one is, saan tayo? The first one is, ito ba yan? Sandali, ha? We will see kung ito na yan. I will see first, ha?
Dating Yusek Bernardo dyan sa ICI.
Hold on. Okay. Let's watch and listen to this.
Ito sa sunod na hindi pagdalo ni dating Yusek Bernardo dyan sa ICI.
Alam mo, nakakainis na rin yung nangyayari kasi nakadalawang postpone na o pangatlong postpone na yata ng appearance na ni Yusek Bernardo. Tapos parang ang balita ay November 11 or lagpas pa ang pagsalang niya. Di umano ay may sakit pero hindi naman ipinapakita ang certification ng doktor na talagang may sakit. At para lang maaalala ng ating mga kababayan, si Yusek Bernardo yung nagsabi na alleged bagman ni Senator Escudero, si Maynard Ngu. Eh di ba kahapon nga, meron na namang concerned citizens letter ni John Santander, binabanggit yung posibleng koneksyon ni First Lady Lisa Araneta at ni Maynard Ngu. Pero apparently, pag kinalkal pa natin yung laman ng letter at na-confirm natin, meron na palang 2020 media report ang bilyonaryo, no? Isang news page, na nagkaroon ng fundraising for Bongbong Marcos, 5 million pesos per plate sa isang establishment na pag-aari ni Maynard Ngu. Ngayon, syempre sasabihin ng iba, noong 2022 pa yan pero yun nga di ba? So ngayon, may mga sumusupot na bago. 2022 pala, parang may mako-connect na dots na tayo dito. And take note na hindi ito ang unang beses na may mga ganitong alegasyon sa mga campaign donors or fundraising for President Marcos, no? Di ba mas nauna na yung report ng Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism na si President Bongbong Marcos at si Vice President Duterte ay pareho palang tumanggap ng campaign donations from contractors. So, salasabit na ito, sabit yata sila. So, patanong yun, no? Sabit yata sila. So, kaya dapat imbestigahan ng ICI, no? At Sa tingin natin, dito nagkukulang yung ICI at nagmumukha silang panakipbutas or cover up, no? Parang pinagtatakpan nila yung mga nasa poder kasi paulit-ulit na lang na postponement. Bakit hindi nila sa ospital o sa clinic puntahan at hingan ng testimonya si Yusek Bernardo? Kasi parang ang tagal na ng mga postponement, no? So parang hindi na pwedeng ganyan. Magmumukhang cover up. Lalo na hindi naka-livestream ang mga hearings. So yun ang unang kailangan gawin ng ICI, i-livestream nila kasi otherwise, nagmumukhang moro-moro, hindi natin alam ang nangyayari at talagang maaakusahan sila ng mga mamamayan na baka ito ay whitewash o cover up para mapagtakpan ang mga nasa poder. So yan ang reaksyon natin at nakakagalit ito kasi pera ng taong bayan ang ginagamit ng ICI sa kanilang operasyon for sure, di ba? Ang nag-create na ng gobyerno dahil sa galit ng taong bayan. So para saan pa na nandyan sila kung hindi nila magagawa yung kanilang tungkulin na mabilis na imbestigahan ito at imbestigahan lahat, no? So kung hindi natin makukuha ang buong katotohanan na aabot sa lahat ng nasa poder, ay baka mas maganda pang mag-back up na ang ICI at huwag nang sayangin ng pera ng bayan, no? Kung hindi nila magagawa yung tungkulin nila. So yan ang ating reaksyon dyan.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin kay Professor David Michael San Juan po, no? As what I said, he's the convener ng Tama Na team, organization, organizing itong mga demonstration dyan po sa Pilipinas. Now, what he was saying is that he was mentioning ang pangalan ni Undersecretary ng Department of Public Works and Highways, no? Si Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo. Yun po. You know, ang history ni story ni former Undersecretary Bernardo is that during the first hearing he attended, no? Ang first hearing niya, nag-attend siya po sa Blue Ribbon Committee. He mentioned ang some of the details. Not tell all, not tell all. Remember that, not tell all. Now, he mentioned, and nandyan na po, no? Ang link niya between Mr. or Engineer Alcantara, no? Na mayroon silang direct link when it comes to this mga illegal negotiations po of flood control projects. Nandyan na yun po, no? Nandyan na yun po. So, yun. But the problem is, for the upcoming second hearing po, he requested ang Blue Ribbon Committee po, no? Blue Ribbon Committee. Is it the Blue Ribbon Committee or the Independent Commission Independent Commission for Infrastructure? Sabi niya, give him more time. Hindi siya muna mag-attend ang hearing dahil po he needs more time to complete ang informations lang po that he wants to reveal sa commission or sa Blue Ribbon Committee. No? So, okay lang yan po. No? Okay lang yan po. So, they decided, okay, give him more time. Now, after that, he again requested or informed the investigators that he cannot attend the next scheduled hearing because may sakit siya po, is not feeling well. Okay din. Granted. And today, he's supposed to be doon sa hearing ng ICI, Independent Commission for Infrastructure. Then again, he informed ang ICI that he cannot be present because he is sick for medical reason. So, kaya nga po, today, wala talaga. He did not attend. Ang problema dito po, ang mga tao now is saying, ano ba ito? Ano ba ito? Delay ng delay. What is happening? What is he playing? May game ba yun sila? Why ang ICI allow this thing to happen? This is the third time na po And worst thing, sabi mga, those who criticize, or those who do not agree with the decision of ICI taking no action against former Undersecretary Bernardo, no? Kasi when you say may sakit ka for medical reason po, bakit wala ang medical certificate? Normally, even sa mga trabaho natin, ordinaryong Filipino po, maskin tayo dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, kung mag-absent tayo sa trabaho natin po, we inform our employers. May sakit ako, no? May sakit ako po, and I cannot attend 1 or 2 days. I cannot go to work 1 or 2 days po. The first thing ang mga employers natin po will say, okay, show proof to me. Give me your medical certificate. Kagaya sa case ko po, no? If I want to take sick leave, mayroon kaming company doctor. Company doctor po. So I have to go to our company doctor and ask for medicine. And if the doctor will be or is convinced that I need rest, then the company doctor, my company doctor now, will issue a medical certificate informing the company that I need to rest for 1, 2, or 3 days. Or even more than that. Huh? Because I'm facing some medical problems po. And stated yun po anong sakit. Dito sa ICI, wala po. Letter lang, I'm sick, I cannot attend. Wala nang medical certificate. Although sabi ang ICI, yeah, we accepted, but please submit us your medical certificate. And hanggang ngayon po, wala. Why? What is happening po? Huh? What is happening? I think the same thing also what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. If you want to maski sa eskwelahan lang po, you have to present. Sabi ang teacher natin or ang principal natin po, oh, why are you absent? Where is your medical certificate to prove that you are sick? Dapat mayroon po. See? Dito sa ICI, wala po, okay lang po. Okay lang po. So, duda na naman ang mga tao ngayon, bakit ganyan? Bakit ganyan po? And according to former Undersecretary, that he will attend the next hearing po. That will be November 11 ba yun? No? 3 weeks away from now. And we don't know, kaya na may mga haka-haka ng mga tao ngayon saying not only sa Pilipinas, kami din dito po sa Sabah, Filipino community, is now, you cannot blame us if we suspect, pagdating yun na next month, baka iba naman ang affidavit ni Undersecretary Bernardo. Baka they are studying, doing something po to change na naman ang scenario ng investigation or affidavit niya which he submitted earlier. Posible yan po. We are not saying yun na, no? But there is a possibility why we are thinking this way because we can see bakit ganon ang ICI. Bakit ganon ang ICI? Okay lang ba yun? Wala ng medical certificate to show proof that you are sick. So anytime lang pwede. That is the problem here now with ICI because they don't have the power to subpoena, they don't have the power to contempt ang mga resource person nila po, no? And of course, they don't have the power to file criminal charges against ang witnesses or resource person nila po. Yun ang problema ng ICI. And worse still, it is not made public. Ang hearing nila po is closed-door hearing. It is not an open hearing. So, can you blame ang mga tao? The government wants to, or asking us, ang publiko, don't worry because we are going to brief you in every scheduled hearing. After every scheduled hearing, we are going to brief you what transpired sa hearing. You expect the public and Toto will believe everything you say? We did not see what transpired inside the hearing. And here comes now the government wants it, okay, you have to trust us, you have to believe us. What we say, ano talaga nag-transpired sa closed-door hearing. Ganun man yun. Remember, the Filipinos, ang trust ng Filipinos sa gobyerno, depleted na talaga po, down. We don't trust anymore ang sistema. And here comes BBM, the president says, calm down lang kayo. Don't worry. Because we have a system and our system ng gobyerno is working. Yeah, working maybe sa side ninyo po. But the side ng publiko is not working. It is cheating, kalukuhan, budol na naman sa amin. You cannot blame that po if this is the way we think or look at this situation. Okay? Okay, another video clip that I want to share with you. Tungkol pa rin kay Professor David Michael San Juan during the interview sa programa ni Ted Filon and DJ Shasha. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Speaker Martin Romualdez na ipagpaliban din yung hearing dahil naman yung sa kanya naman sa huling balita, medical procedure. Ano naman pong reaksyon niyo doon?
Siyempre, kung talagang may medical procedure, ay wala tayong magagawa, mapopospone. Pero siguro ang minimum na hinihingi natin, ipakita nila yung certification ng kanilang doktor para alam rin ng taong bayan. Kasi si former Speaker Romualdez, public figure din siya. No? So, may karapatan din ng taong bayan na malaman ng tungkol sa kanyang kalusugan, lalo na kasama siya sa resource person, so inimbestigahan ng ICI. So, sana maging 100% transparent sila sa ano talaga yung nangyayari sa kanilang kalusugan. At saka magbigay sila ng klarong timetable kailan sila sasalang. At sana pag sumalang sila sa investigasyon or sa hearing, naririnig at napapanood ng taong bayan. Actually, ito ay para rin sa kanila ng mga resource person. Alam nyo, maganda pag naka-livestream.
Bonjour, c'est Yves Tréhard, journaliste au Figaro.
Alright, yun po. That's another issue. No? Si former Speaker Martin Romualdez, also his name was mentioned in the investigation. His involvement in this flood control projects po, no? Diyan po sa Pilipinas, nationwide ito. Alright. He also mentioned about him going for a medical operation. Abroad yun po. Abroad. Hindi sa Pilipinas. Abroad. But he only informed ICC na he is going for medical operation. But anong klaseng operation po? Mayroon ba certificate coming from the medical authorities, coming from the doctor, saying that he has to do his medical operation outside the country dahil po wala tayong dito po specialists to do that kind of operation. Kailangan talaga po, he has to go to anong country, United States of America, or kung saan-saan po. But the problem is, only talk. Talks lang po. Walang medical certificate. Yun na naman, ang mga tao, may duda na. May duda na po. See? Kaya nga, itong grupo ng tama na, spearheaded by a convenor, si Professor David Michael San Juan, is saying, ito ang comments namin. We see na wala talaga po, nothing is happening sa investigation. Wasted ang pera ng gobyerno. Wasted ang efforts and time ng gobyerno po doing this kind of investigation. Wherein, wala din. Nothing is happening. And this commission was created by no less than our President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. And sigaw ng mga tao, walang ngipin. There is no teeth itong commission. Kaya nga sigaw ng mga tao, you have to give, President, you have to give this commission powers to contempt. Because now you see, you send them the invitation and they will reply you this way. You cannot do anything because you don't have the power to contempt. See? Yun po. That is what is happening. Kaya nga, galit na galit ang mga Filipinos. Hindi lang mga Filipinos dyan sa Pilipinas, kami din po dito sa Sabah, sa Malaysia, as well as other overseas Filipinos sa ibang nasyon. Ganun din ang feelings namin, Mr. President. Yeah. Mahirap na if you continue. You are not doing it openly, ang hearing. Yun na po. It's a big matter for us. Because we don't trust anymore. We don't trust the government anymore. Yun po. Now, the initial investigation shows na there is a big possibility, we are just saying now a possibility, there is a big possibility na si former Speaker Martin Romualdez maybe, reportedly, allegedly, has something to do with the dealings, anomalous dealings po. Not only sa flood control projects, but also dyan po sa 2025 national budget, which has been described as the worst national budget in the history of the Philippines. Involved yan po. Because he was the one as a speaker who also approved itong proposal ng budget 2025 and brought it to the Senate, and then the Senate scrutinized it. After scrutiny, Martin was the one who approved the GAP, GAB, General Appropriation Bill, and then it went to the Senate for the GAP. GAA, and then from GAA it goes to the Executive Department for the final signing of the national budget. It makes it a General Appropriation Act na yun po, di ba? Correct me if I'm wrong. Medyo nalito na ako ngayon. But anyway, ganon yun po. He has something to do. And even dyan po sa flood control projects, it was mentioned already by a resource person during the Blue Ribbon Committee po, na itong Marine soldier, VIP escort po, also came out sa Blue Ribbon Committee po, linking Martin Romualdez sa pera ng flood control projects. Si Major ba yan? Marine Major Orly Gutesa, he was the one who said, ako mismo po a witness. We sent 35 suitcases. Allegedly, ang laman ng suitcases are cash money, amounting to billions of pesos po, to the house of former Speaker Martin Romualdez. So in other words, link na po si former Congressman Saldico and Martin Romualdez. So kailangan lang yan po, you have to go deeper. So he stepped down, he attended, si Martin Romualdez attended ang hearing just lately, and then after that, now he's talking about he has to go for medical operation. Nobody can stop him. He's not a fugitive. No, he's not a fugitive. He's not a criminal. Nobody can stop him. And he's still a congressman. You see? Dahil walang power ang ICI. Walang power ang ICI. So yun po. Yun mga things that we are looking into it also po. No? Medyo hindi masaya ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Sabah. I'm talking about kami po dito sa Sabah. But I'm sure, whatever, ang feelings namin po, I think, majority of the Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers, sa ibang nation also po, parehas ang feelings namin. At saka, ang feelings namin po, sa mga kababayan, kapatid, mga relatives natin po sa Pilipinas, ordinary Filipinos po, I think parehas din. How we think, how we feel. See? Ganon yan po. Because from day one, lumabas na itong istorya po, I am monitoring ang developments po, and I spoke to the Filipino communities dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. And I received messages coming from other municipalities, districts dito sa Sabah po, ang Filipino community po. They express similar sentiments po sa akin. Sa akin po. See? So, that is really what is happening. Alright, another video clip I want to share with you po. Ito. Okay, meron pa isa. Meron pa tayo isa pa. Video clip. Okay, ano itong video clip? You hold on na. Mayroon pa tayo. Ito po, let's watch and listen to this.
Siyempre, kung talagang may medical procedure, ay wala tayong magagawa, mapopostpone. Pero siguro ang minimum na hinihingi natin, ipakita nila yung certification ng kanilang doktor para alam rin ng taong bayan. Kasi si former Speaker Romualdez, public figure din siya. No? So, may karapatan din ng taong bayan na malaman ng tungkol sa kanyang kalusugan, lalo na kasama siya sa resource person, so iniimbestigahan ng ICI. So, sana maging 100% transparent sila sa ano talaga yung nangyayari sa kanilang kalusugan. At saka magbigay sila ng klarong timetable kailan sila sasalang. At sana pag sumalang sila sa investigasyon or sa hearing, naririnig at napapanood ng taong bayan. Actually, ito ay para rin sa kanila ng mga resource person. Alam niyo maganda pag naka-livestream. Kung sila ay papagabagin ng kanilang konsensya dahil naka-livestream, alam nila na safely pwede nilang sabihin ang lahat ng gusto nilang sabihin. At hindi sila mapagbabantaan ng sinuman. At pagbantaan man sila ng sinuman, maaaring mabigyan sila ng proteksyon ng mamamayan kasi kung sasabihin nila ang buong katotohanan na naka-livestream, malalaman ng taong bayan sino ba talagang may kagagawan dito at sino ang nadawit lang at sino ang nagamit lang. So yun ang panawagan natin Kaya dapat dito sa mga resource persons, sana ay bagabagin kayo ng inyong konsensya at tungkulin sa taong bayan. Of course, may mga magsasabi maraming politiko walang konsensya, pero sa tingin ko bahagi rin ng kulturang Pilipino na eventually pag nakita mo na ito ay pagtitimbang na ng alin ang mas mabigat, ang kapakanan ng bayan o ang sariling kapakanan mo o kapakanan ng iyong pamilya, eventually marirealize mo, ikaw ay bahagi lang ng bansang Pilipinas. Ang dapat mong unahin, ang kapakanan ng bayan. Di ba sabi nga ni General Luna, bayan o sarili, mamili ka. Sana piliin nila ang kapakanan ng bayan. Isiwalat nila ang buong katotohanan, sino man ang tamaan. Yun ang hinihiling natin sa mga resource persons at sa mga posibleng resource persons na sa ngayon ay hindi pa lumalantad. Kasi sa nakikita natin sa lawak at lalim ng issue, diba mukhang maraming senador at kongresista ang sangkot. May ebidensya na para doon. Patay sa mga lumilitaw pang sulat, mga concerned citizens letter na may mga evidence din at mga larawan. Mukhang hanggang palasyo ang patutunguhan nito. Ngayon, anong dapat gawin ng mga nakakaalam? Lumantad na sila ngayon. Isipin nila ang kapakanan ng bayan. Kasi sa ganito isawalat nila ang buong katotohanan.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin, no? Just the same, yun mga resource person, please come out and tell the truth. Because kayo po and kami, mga ordinaryong Filipino po, we believe that hindi pwede with such a big scandal involving huge amount of money po, trillions of money po. It cannot only be done by 1 or 2 person. Mayroon talaga yun po. It is a mafia style po. And mayroon talaga yun mastermind. And this is what we want to know. Sino ang mastermind? Sino yon mga malaking tao dyan po? We don't want yon mga contractors lang po. We don't want yon mga... of course, yes, we want that because it's a crime. It's a crime that they have to pay. No? Mga government officials natin po. They have to pay. Mga contractors, yes, they have to pay for the crime that they have committed. But we also want, ang importante dyan po, we want itong big fish, ang mastermind. Imposible po, 1 or 2 people lang po. No? Imposible. Resource person, please come out. ICI, please call these people. 17 congressmen na nga nag-mention. Mayroon mga senators. Sa 15 contractors po. Call them. Investigate. Interview them. Yun ang kailangan po. That is what we want. And if you do that kind of thing, openly to the public, we will, or it will be much appreciated by the Filipinos. For as long as there is no open hearing po, mahirap po, you cannot expect the Filipinos will believe every word that you are going to say. Si Mr. Attorney ba yan? Professor Hosaka, doing the briefing sa media after hearing. You don't expect that the Filipinos will believe every word that you say. Mayroon talaga yung duda po. Because it is your word against ours. We cannot believe. To see is to believe also po. But you want to protect ang mga resource persons, mga witnesses, so that they will not be judged by the public. Yun ang rights nila. But have you forgotten ang rights ng mga Filipinos din po? Our right for information, kailangan din namin yun po. For as long as we don't work together, we don't meet halfway, then I think nothing will happen. Para sa akin lang po, I think nothing will happen itong investigation po. When the president said that, okay, be calm and we have a system working, our system, government system is working, yes, maybe. ICI is doing their job. The problem is, they are only doing their job. Ang sistema po is only going after those who are against the government. But how about yun sa gobyerno po? Involved sa kalokohan. Nasaan na yun po? Is it ang system is working sa kanila? Or protecting sa kanila? Diyan po ang sentimento ng mga Filipinos. Hindi lang dito po sa Sabah, I strongly believe, but also other Filipinos po sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo. Especially diyan po sa Pilipinas. This is what is happening ngayon sa atin. Everybody shouting, we love the Philippines. Bayan ko. But, totoo ba, you love the country? Philippines? Bayan natin ito? While you say those things, And then, sa kabila, you are cheating the Filipinos. You are putting down our country. Putting down in terms of maraming bagay po. Security-wise, political stability, economic stability po. Apektado. Apektado talaga. That is what I personally believe. So sana lang po, I just hope that the eyes of our president and the government, Marcos administration, will now realize, no, that they have to do something. Something. We don't need itong mga ano lang po, mga sweet talks sa amin. We want tangible evidence. We want concrete. Walk the talk, Mr. President. Whatever you say, you turn your words into action so that tayo, mga Filipinos po, we are going to believe you. For as long as you don't do that, then we are going nowhere except down to the drain. And kawawa naman po ang mga kabataan, ang youth, ang mga bata, the generations and generations to come. Because it will be a domino effect sa buhay ng Filipino, ng mga Filipinos po. So, yun. Ito po, this is the thing that I want to sa inyo. And let us not also forget po, according to Professor David Michael San Juan, na mayroon tayong malaking demonstration po. Nationwide ito po, and that will be held sa November 30. No? Sa November 30, that is, November 30 is Andres Bonifacio Day. No? Andres Bonifacio Day po. So, kung pwede, as what Mr. David is saying or inviting everybody to participate. We need warm bodies po para mas lalo na po ang gobyerno will listen to us. Mas lalo na po. No? And sana lang po they will listen to us. Sana lang po they will listen to us. Let us not, I hope it will not happen. Now, we will come to a point wherein mayroon naman tayong people power. No? I'm not advocating, I'm not encouraging people to go for people power, but kung ganon po, what is happening now, we don't see more than one man na po, maskin isang tao, nakulong na po. Despite ang mga Filipino shouting, ikulong natin ang mga korap. Pero hanggang ngayon po, wala pa. So, we are not happy with what is happening sa Pilipinas. Mr. President, please do something and listen to our voice. Alright, so siguro nandito na lang ang programa natin na Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Today is a Wednesday, no? October 22nd na, no? October 22nd na po, and I was made to understand, October 24, mayroon naman tayong rally dyan, no? And it will be participated by the farmers, ang mga farmers natin sa Pilipinas. So, please participate. Please participate po, no? So, November 30, Grand Rally, no? Wala pa tayong specific venue. But si Mr. David Michael, someone said, once they will finalize, they will officially announce ang venue and time ng November 30 rally po sa Pilipinas. And it will be nationwide. So, hintayin na lang natin. And in the meantime, ako din po, para sa mga kababayan ko dito sa Sabah, I will continue to monitor what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. And kung mayroon kayong mga suggestions on what to do, no? Or anything that you want from me, that I'll try to get your answers, no? Sa Pilipinas po, I'll do that. So, monitor lang kayo po dito everyday. This is everyday. I'm doing this everyday po. para sa mga Filipinos natin. This is my contribution po as a Filipino because I am a proud Filipino po. I love our country and I love our fellow countrymen po dito sa Pilipinas and dyan po, dito sa Sabah and dyan po sa Pilipinas po. And lahat mga Filipinos po. For as long as you are a Filipino, you are part sa puso ko po. Diyan ang totoo po. I will not get tired advocating for reforms, changes sa Pilipinas po. Calling everybody na let's continue our fight sa corruption sa Pilipinas. So with this, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and I'll see you in my next program. Bye, and I love you. Take care.